Hello everyone. Somewhat later than planned, here is the video explainer on the poems on cormorant fishing, ukawa, in Eikyū hyakushu. This was a very long-standing poetic topic and referred to the practice of using tamed cormorants to fish for sweetfish, Eikyū, at night. You can still see this done, more as a tourist attraction than a trade, in parts of Japan today. The birds themselves are rarely mentioned in poems on the topic, and the standard images are of the boats, the torches the fishermen used, the fish, and the river in various forms. Obviously, cormorant fishing wasn't something the nobility ever did themselves, but you get the impression that they must have observed the spectacle regularly and appreciated. I know from personal experience that night is often the most pleasant time to be out and about in Japan in the summer, and being near a river brings an additional hint of cool as well. It has to be said, as the mosquitoes. I suspect that many an aristocrat who went to watch cormorant fishing returned home scratching. Ubune oku, kudasi tokushimo, takigawa ni yanakuzure shite ayuko sawageru. Cormorant boats without number head downstream, even then in the torrents, shattering the fish traps. So raucous are the sweetfish sprats. Akinaka's poem is cleverly constructed and balanced. It starts and ends with a sense of great multitudes, of boats at the beginning, and then the fish at the end, and then has an image of sound, produced by the waters and by the fish, in the centre. Ochikudaru ubune no kagari akakereba, yogawa no soko mo sumimasari keri. Dropping down, the cormorant boat's torchlight is so bright, even the nighttime riverbed is crystal clear. Nakazane, by contrast, focuses on the image of the torchlight from the boats. He describes it as dropping down, as if it were something tangible. When it strikes the water's surface, rather than making a splash, it penetrates right the way through to the riverbed. It's a beautiful image, I think. Ochikudaru hokage ni mireba, masurao wa tamoto ito naku ayuko kumurashi. Dropping down, the firelight reveals brawny men, sleeves seeming unceasing in, scooping sweetfish sprats. Toshiori uses the same image of tangible light. One almost feels it's like liquid or syrup, but in his poem, it's flowing over the sleeves of the brawny fishermen, and you can imagine them appearing and disappearing in the torchlight as they gather in their catch. Sayosugara ayufusu kawa ni kagaribi no kage to tomo ni mo ukabitsuru kana. All the brief night long, sweetfish hiding in the river with the torches, light come drifting up. Tadafusa, somewhat prosaically, describes how the fish are attracted to the torchlight. It doesn't come across in the translation, but he's using a technique called engo, evocative language, in that he starts with a reference to night. And what do you do at night? Why, lie down. And the verb he uses next, fusu, which means of an animal, conceal itself, is homophonous with another verb, fusu, which meant lie down to sleep if you were a person. Ukai bune tsunade kudasu to mietsuru wa isogete taguru tama wa narikeru. On a cormorant boat, when the horse is dropping, I see, quickly, roll up the rigging. Kanemase's poem here is, again, quite prosaic, and is more like a traditional song than an elegant court work. Kainoboru ubune no nawa no shigekereba, sebushi no ayu no yukukata yanaki. Heading upstream, the cormorant boat's horses are so many that sweetfish through the rapids have no path to take. Higo adopts a pose of concern for the fish, while again describing the multitudes of boats. Oigawa ubune ni tomosu kagaribi no kakaruse ni ao Eikyū hyakushu. On the river Oi, the cormorant boats kindle torches, reflect off the rushing rapids. What sorrow for the sweet fish. And that's by Daishin. Now, Daishin was Hiko's sister, and so she does the same, but adds to her poem a reference to a specific location, the river Oi, which lay to the northwest of the capital. Well, still does, in fact. The aristocrats of the court often went there for pleasure excursions, and so it's frequently mentioned in poetry. And it was one of the closest locations to the city that cormorant fishing took place. That's it for cormorant fishing. Next, summer hunting.